All right, good All right, good evening. Welcome to the platform, the Mad Hatter Platter. Tonight, I have my very special guests, bartenders extraordinaires, and then I also have my co-host, Wine Girly here. You can find Wine Girly on Instagram,
Yes, you can.
and we're gonna do an episode with her coming up. That's probably gonna be maybe episode 6 or 7. I'm not sure, but we're gonna talk about wines and the sommelier power. So, with that being said, I have two guests here tonight: Jaime Papi Chulo, and we also have Mike Dane, bartender
How you doing?
extraordinaire. So, Jaime, introduce yourself. Tell us something about yourself.
Hi, my name is Jaime. Been in the restaurant industry for 30 plus years, about 30, 35 since I was in high school. Started basically as a busboy, worked my way up to server, bartender. Have about 20, 25 years experience behind the bar.
How do you like bartending?
You know what? I love it. I love it and I hate it, because definitely a lot of fun, but also a lot of stress. Does pay the bills. It's something I do have a passion for. But these days I'm serving instead of bartending.
How about you, Mike? Introduce yourself to the people.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Mike Dane. I've been working in restaurants since 1996.
You were 20 when you started in restaurant?
I was 20. Yeah, I started as a food runner
Mm-hmm.
for PF Chang's in Irvine. I knew the corporate trainer guy. He lived right down the street from me, so he kind of recruited me. And maybe within 6 months or so, I was serving and I was becoming a corporate trainer where I would go around and travel to different cities and open new PF Chang's because it was still very much in its infancy at the time.
Did you like being a traveling trainer?
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
I loved
especially
it.
when you were young.
I loved it. Yes, exactly. It was. I went to like 25 different restaurant openings, I think,
Yeah.
all around the country.
how
So it
fun.
was, and it was great. Rather than like being a tourist in a city and just seeing the sights, you work obviously, but
Right.
you also get to know the really ins and outs of the city and the people who live there, and they tell you these are the bars they go to. So you really, it's not like you're just going there as a regular tourist. It was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. The PF Chang's training program was fantastic. When I remember doing the Birmingham, Alabama opening, and it was like the mayor was there. It was like the biggest thing to happen to Birmingham, and since the '60s or whatever, who
Yeah,
knows? So, but yeah, and then after PF Chang's, I started working at Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I also worked at Yard House for a while, and now I've been at the Arroyo Chop House here in Pasadena for the last 10 years or so.
Awesome. All right. So these guys are giving you a little brief background history. Just real quick, I want to iterate that the reason why I'm doing this show is to touch more on the inside of the operation of how restaurants work, and not just the machines and stuff like that. The people that make the machine work. The different staff, the different departments. So right now we have bartenders. Our previous episode was busser, a busser transitioning into a cocktail server. And the episode before that was one of our superstar waiters. And before
Two
that,
superstars.
yeah, and before that was another superstar waiter. So we're going to be diving deeper, more into the different departments. We're going to be doing preps. We're going to be doing cooks. As a matter of fact, the next episode that's coming up, which should be episode 5, will be back of the house, which will feature a line cook and a broiler. So that should be interesting. So make sure you tune in.
I'm not gonna name drop any company I work for till they start fucking sponsoring that shit.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing as a bartender? Like when you're behind the bar, what is like if you could carpe diem, if you could seize the day at that moment, what is one of your favorite things that has happened to you frequently? Is it like the sound of the guests, the clatter of the restaurant, just knowing drinks so well that it's just effortless? Remembering a drink? Like what is one of your favorite things as a bartender?
Well, some of my favorite things is probably during downtime when you get to talk and no guests, because as a server, as a server, you come and go. Sometimes you don't have as much time to talk to someone very intimately.
Yeah.
At the bar, you're never leaving that place.
Yeah. That's your little square
even
area.
sometimes you get your regulars right in the service well where you're prepping drinks and they're still talking to you, seeing you do your thing, and that's probably one of my favorite things.
Same thing, Mike.
Um, that's an interesting question. I worked the service well a lot.
What is a service well for our
So,
listeners?
so it's where the cocktails or the servers bring in their drinks for the restaurant.
Okay.
So you're not really dealing with the guests at the bar top as much. You're just focused on the servers and the tickets that come out of the printer. It's kind of like the same thing as being in the kitchen, essentially. You're just tickets come up, you're producing the drinks, getting them out as fast as possible. And one of my personal favorite thing is like, it's like when a pitcher has a perfect game kind of thing. You know, it doesn't happen very often. But I always like the perfect game for me is when I never have a server who's waiting for a drink ever. They're always, the drinks are there when they walk up there.
Yep.
Every single one. And I've had a few nights like that actually where I don't know if that's more on me or the servers not being that good.
They're not typing you
Yeah.
long lists.
But you know, and you certainly know, and Jaime, I can attest to this too. You certainly know which servers are, you know, the timing of certain people, you know, which servers kind of take a lot of time to pick up their drinks and which servers come there like immediately bringing it in and then they stand there like, where's my drink? So, and there's certain, the best ones are the ones who really have a kind of a flow and a timing to it. But yeah, going back to like, I would say one of my favorite things that happens in the restaurant is when you have that perfect night where I'm just like, you know, get dusting the dirt on my shoulder and like, okay, just.
Am I allowed to talk about one time I got suspended because I wrote Mike something?
This is the Mad Hatter platter. You could talk about whatever you want on
Okay,
this
so
show.
I have to expand on that. When you're ringing drinks to just the bartenders, and there is you can type a note. There's an area to type in a note.
Modifiers.
Modifier. Thank you. I couldn't think of that right now. That may not. We already have preps. You know, we have a couple hundred modifiers, and sometimes guests order something that's not in that little bubble for you to choose. So you have to go in and type in your own message. Well, I will sell the shit out of dirty martinis, especially Chopin. So Mike was in the speed well, or in the service well, and I knew he was the only one reading the tickets. So I would order a dirty Chopin, and I'd be like, make her slutty. Split her legs open, make her yell. And then one day I'm typing this, and one of my managers walked by and he said, what was that? And I was like, send.
Is that how it happened? I didn't know if someone saw it.
But I just completely.
I thought there was like a rat or someone.
No,
ratted
he
you.
was
Oh,
such a
Wow.
chill manager. You know, he partied with servers after work. So I didn't think he would rat me out. And so I go into work next shift, and my general manager and this particular manager at the time said, we need to talk to you. We're going to go out back. And I was like, oh, this isn't even in the office. It's that bad. So we went and said it.
We're gonna talk to you by the dumpsters. That's never
shake
good.
me. So we went and sat at this table outside, and there's just tape and tape and tape of everything I've ever typed. And I just sat there, and my general manager at the time, she's like, you cannot type this. It goes in the master mainframe.
I'm a little butthurt. I think I only had like 2 of those messages from you.
I had to tone it down.
I do remember that. I was thinking the same thing Mike was thinking. We all used to work together, by the way, just to give you some context. So I thought somebody added you out as well. What I wanted to kind of focus on too as well is the reason why I brought both of you guys on together is because you guys worked together for a long time, not just in one place, but in different places. And you guys have also been friends for a while, you know.
Definitely.
And there's a mutual respect on both sides. And what I wanted to ask you guys is, being that you both work together, how important do you feel is teamwork?
Baseball playoffs are on right now, so it kind of makes me think of
Otani?
whenever you see they interview these guys after a championship winning game, they always talk about how much they care about each other, and like I did it for the team, I did it, you know, and it translates to everything in life, really.
It's true.
When you care about each other, then, you know, like when Jaime and I work together, like I know if I was working the night before and I knew Jaime was open the next day, I would make sure when I cleaned up, you know, I set him up for the next day. You know, I'm not going to like leave, you know, juices empty and put, you know, empty bottles away. And like, I would always make sure he's in a good spot for tomorrow. And then in turn, Jaime would do the same exact thing for me when he would work that next day. And then we just kind of carry into it, you know, and then every shift became really easy because both of us were really forward thinking and making sure that we were ready to go for the next shift. Not just that day.
Absolutely.
So, you know, when you have a team like that and you really care about each other, you know, it's different when you have someone who, you know, they kind of slack and then you're like at the end of the night, you're a little tired. And you're like, you know what, that bottle's empty, whatever. Like, I don't need to refill it. I don't need to, you know, make more blue cheese olives or do whatever. Like they didn't set me up. So why am I going to do that for them?
Right.
You know, but when you have this mentality where like I play for the other guy, you know, I want to make my teammate look good. Then, you know, and that's what Jaime and I have when we work together, you know, like.
And it brings customers back when there's a
They can see that.
cohesiveness, and then you can anticipate what your coworker needs, and you two are very good at that.
There's kind of a little brotherhood, I think. You know, like Mike calls me, grab a shovel, let's go at 3 in the morning. I'm there. No
I'll remember
question
that.
So same thing, you know.
Yeah,
Behind
he
the
ain't
bar.
lying.
There's a few of those customers. No, just kidding.
Believe it or not, in my 30 plus years in the restaurant industry, I've worked with a couple people who I think are better bartenders or mixologists, whatever you want to call them. However, they either have a chip on their shoulder, or a big head, or they're not willing to do things that they ask you to do. So, you know, there has to be a brotherhood and camaraderie, a trust behind the bar. If you go to a restaurant and you see sometimes 3 guys looking like the Three Stooges bumping into each other,
Yeah.
there's a symphony, there's a dance.
For sure.
But like me and Mike talking about baseball, you know, just throw in the sign. He already has 2 Long Islands ready.
Yeah,
You know, we got each other's back.
that's true. That's true.
So there's a lot to go with that.
Have you seen a shift from 90 customers to, well, even 2,000 customers, and now we're in 2025? I feel like more back in the early 2000s, more guys would talk to bartenders and be like, oh yeah, hey chief, can I get that? Yeah, chief, you know, you got me, you're gonna take me, you're gonna hook me up, you're gonna take care of me, right, chief? Do you guys still get that in as bartenders? I just feel like it's dropped significantly. Although we're not at nightclubs, we're in
The chief,
fine
the
dining.
boss.
Chief boss,
Hook up the
boss
door.
too.
One thing I've noticed in the years of my bartending is when I first was starting, cell phones were kind of a rarity in those days.
Yeah.
So people come to the bars and they would want to engage the bartender and talk to you.
Yeah.
Which a lot of times was a nightmare because people who want that are looking, you know, like, oh, well, how about the sports team that's going, you know, and you're just like, thank God. Most people are on their phone all the time.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Mike's all thinking, I thought he
For
was
better or
like,
for worse.
I miss it.
No. I mean, I'm saying there's bad things about that too. It's not great, but it's different. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Like it's different.
I agree. I would, before cell phones, I would feel bad when someone was sitting by themselves and I
Sure,
would go into
yeah.
the office and say, do we have any magazines? Do we have any newspapers left over? Did you get a newspaper today? And I would find magazines. It'd be like restaurant supplies. I'm like, do you want to look at this? Do you want to know how to buy?
Yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah.
I would feel bad. Now I'm like, you're right. They have their phones to occupy them.
You know, to kind of piggyback on that, it reminds me of one day I was in the main dining room at my place where I work, and the guy from Step Brothers was in, not Will Ferrell, but the
John
other,
C.
yeah,
Reilly,
yeah, John C. Reilly was in,
Yeah, he was.
and he was with his wife and 2 kids, and I never thought about
His
it.
giant afro.
His giant afro.
You
Yeah,
can see him in
awesome.
the restaurant a mile away.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I heard him over saying to his wife, he was like, you know, baby, it's crazy that so many people have these electronic devices at the table, you know, and I never thought about that because, you know, I would see them, but I never thought about that. And I thought about when, you know, just when I was coming up, you know, we never had the luxury of having devices to distract us from our dinner time. And dinner time was considered more of a
Catching up with each other.
a social type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you know, you have respect when you're at the dinner table. You know,
sure.
you try to keep your elbows off the table. You try not to smack. You know, different things, and you know, you have a conversation about what your day, how your day was, how things were going on. So it is amazing now that devices have taken over, kind of the restaurant industry, and just the element of how dinner usually works.
So do you feel now as bartender, you have to perform more in more of a mixologist setting? Do you have to have all the fresh ingredients? Do you feel that guests are expecting that more versus the roses lime juice of yesteryear?
Depends on the crowd. Nowadays, with social media, Instagram worthy little pictures and stuff. And then also Google or Siri, whoever you want to have as a check.
Yeah. Customers
People-
come in
cus-
asking
they're-
for outrageous drinks all the time. I was like, I've never even heard of that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's really popular in LA or
Yeah.
Louisiana
Well,
right
it does.
now.
It does happen. Like there's the newest one for me is Hugo Spritz. That happens sometimes where it's like something I've never heard of, and the first time you get it, you're like, I don't know, and then I'll Google it or whatever, and if I see it somewhere, a lot of times it's from some other restaurant that started
Right.
it or whatever.
Right.
But now, like that's a Hugo
Yeah,
Spritz is kind of a common thing.
What is
now.
that?
Saint Germain. It's like a
Of course. Saint.
Saint Germain. It's a spritzer with Saint Germain.
Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot more savvy,
Yeah.
Yeah, people know. Yeah, they know. People
No, they're
back in the
better.
day, people would just go, like Cosmos or apple martinis.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
Jack
like,
and Coke,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Just
they-
basic things.
Gin
Now,
and tonic.
margarita
people ordering
with
like
salt.
paper
Um,
planes or last words.
oh, yeah, I was
or,
about to
like
say
things
paper
like that.
planes.
Like like they're people know that how they're supposed to taste too. It's not like they're just ordering because they saw it
Yeah,
on
willy-nilly.
Oprah or whatever.
Right,
Like
right.
But what I do hate is when someone goes on vacation on a cruise, or let's say Hawaii, right? And they were at a resort, so they come back. Can you make the Mookie Lookie Lookie Kawabunga? You're like, that's
No.
just some shit some motherfucker put together
Made
for
up.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have
That's
actually
to get you drunk.
I have a funny story to piggyback on that real quick. Like I was working it with Chris, and someone ordered a lava flow, which is a drink that's
It's so sweet.
it's a pina colada and a strawberry daiquiri that are mixed together. But basically, to make that, you have to make a half of a pina colada, pour that out into a drink, wash out the blender,
Yes.
make a half of a strawberry daiquiri, pour that in there. It's obviously a lot of work. So what this drink is made famous by Islands, by the way, first of all, which I love Islands. And I told the guest at the time, I was like, I can't make that drink because it's like Island's proprietary idea, it's illegal for me. I think I told him it was illegal. I could get arrested if I make that drink. And they're like, wow, I didn't know it worked like that. And I was like, yeah, I wish I could.
You're like, if
but-
ABC changes,
But yeah, and then they fell for it. They were like, okay, I'll just order a Long Island. Or
Thank
whatever.
God.
Yeah,
you're all done.
yeah.
I'll get you drunk. Do either of your restaurants have egg whites that you have to deal with? Do you have to deal with drinks that like the old whiskey sours with egg whites?
I use fava water as a substitute.
What's fava water?
That's garbanzo bean juice.
Okay.
Actually, you get a can of garbanzo beans and you strain out the juice from it. It doesn't really it doesn't smell that great. It doesn't sound very good. I'll be honest with you, but use a couple drops really is all you need. And that recreates an egg white, and it's vegan too also.
Vegan,
Oh,
gluten
I
free.
love that you
that.
just taught me that. You're
It's
so
vegan,
awesome.
so it's much easier. And honestly, like I'll get in the service while I get people, the tickets will come up like a whiskey sour with egg white, and I'll tell the server like, do you want me to actually make egg white? I'll do that too, but I can use this fava water, which creates the foam, does the whole effect, and it's easier and faster. And
I love it. See,
So,
there you are.
but
A
sometimes
true
if
mixologist.
they insist on egg whites, then I'll make egg whites.
What I wanted to ask you is, I bartended for a couple of years. What is a sign to you as a bartender that someone might be underage or very, very young? What kind of drinks
Can I
do
have
they?
a lava float?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
What kind of drinks do they normally order?
I'll take a beer.
Oh, really?
Most people be like, give me a Stella, give me a Heineken.
Oh, because okay,
Because I know like
they're
some
generic.
I
Generic.
know some of the things that they used, when I used to bartend, they used to order like the craziest shots in the world.
Sure.
And you're like,
yeah.
yo, I gotta ID this person because this person is probably not 21 because they're ordering abortion shots and stuff like that.
I don't think I don't think anyone under 50 has been in my restaurant for like 20 years. So that really hasn't been a concern of mine.
What about you, Jaime? You get any young folks coming through where you
Well,
at?
even throughout the year, sometimes even you have people visiting from Europe, South America, Canada, where they can legally drink at 18.
Yeah.
And they come, they're
Yeah.
like 19, 20.
They're
and
savvy about their drinking.
They know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
they're ordering cocktails and they have
Sure.
money. They're working.
Well, I would serve
And-
them in that case.
No, well,
Like honestly.
ABC's gonna see
Yeah,
this.
it's
and
just-
be like,
just joking.
Mike
No, it's
Dang.
European rules. Like if they
Pasadena.
drink and where they're
I would
from.
serve them at my house, not
You
at
know,
the job site.
in Pasadena, where like when they've had the World
Stinks.
Cup here,
Oh, the World
okay,
Cup.
in '94, they were allowed to serve people that were 18 or what, because that's how it is in their country.
Oh, interesting. Do you
At the
think-
Rose Bowl,
At
though?
well, I don't know necessarily at the Rose Bowl, but I know for a fact, like in Old Town Pasadena, like liquor stores and things like that, over here, people are drinking in public everywhere, and the police were just turning a blind eye to it, which obviously you can't do legally. But when they have these events in certain places, especially the World Cup, you have to, like you're.
The world's all about balance. I've been to Mexico and then I see the 14-year-old kids from here fucking getting smashed.
That's so true. Yeah, exactly.
Do you think the same
it's a
thing?
give and take?
Well, in Spain, if you were tall enough to reach the bar, they would serve you.
Oh, that's
They,
fantastic.
if you were
I could have been
tall
drinking at age
enough-
12.
Serious. Kids came in the bar and I was like, Dad. My dad's like, their rules, if you can reach the bar, you can get a drink.
Do you think the same thing is going to happen when we have the Olympics here? You think they're going to drop laws as far as
Not the Olympics, but the World Cup. I think mainly. It kind of depends on the. I think that was the final was happening here in Pasadena. So,
okay?
because it's the final.
Same, even like college football. You go to stadium, there's never alcohol except when it's in the playoffs or
Yeah.
BCS.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's a
Oh,
lot of revenue raised with alcohol.
There's a lot of revenue raised.
So we're gonna giddy on up to the next phase of the show, the definitive moment of the podcast, which is where you both get to choose whether you want to have a Corkash Faye moment,
The Corkage Bay.
or if you want to do a champion story. Now, just to reiterate, the Corkash Faye is if they have a funny story about a guest who maybe didn't pronounce something right, or just something funny in general, where maybe both parties were confused about what was really going on until you thought about it and you figured out. Then you also have the champion story where it's where you give an example of maybe where you gave compelling customer service, maybe how you changed the customer's day around. So we're gonna start off with Mike first. Mike, what would you like to choose? Would you?
I'm going to go with champion story
Nice.
today, Ahmed.
All right, I'm excited.
Yes, I've given this some thought. There was a movie theater that was right across from me at the Irvine Spectrum, and I used to go and buy tickets for people that were dining. That was years and years ago, and I've gone through, I've changed, I've evolved somewhat since then. And I really try to really give every single person the same kind of level of service. For your listeners out there, one thing, when you sit down, at least at my bar, everyone is kind of, you're right at a 5. You're right in the middle of the spectrum there. I don't like you, I don't dislike you. I'm right. But then you can do things that can move the bar a little way, to the good side or the bad side. And I don't know if many people know this, but there's certain things that a bartender can do that will, help your dining experience, help your bill for sure. If I like you and you're being a cool, regular, normal person, and let's say, for example, you order a couple shots. I'm sure you can understand this. Like, there's certain ways I can ring this in that would account for these shots. Now, let's say you order like 4 shots of tequila. I could ring in like 4 of these tequilas, which is how you would normally do it. Or I could ring in like a tequila martini,
Right, which
would account
extra pour.
exactly, which would account, but it'll cost probably half the price.
Without being fraudulent, it accounts for all the alcohol.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
it's completely legitimate.
Yes.
But it's a way of me kind of helping you out. So what I'm saying is, like, not necessarily a champion story is like one specific time that I've done that, but there's a lot of things that a bartender can do that can make your experience better or worse if they want to. And it kind of depends on how you treat the bartender.
Yes.
It really is this case of kind of instant karma where I'm not saying you have to be overly nice and tip ridiculous amounts.
Got to be nice.
Just, not be a weirdo and not make things awkward and things like that. And usually the bartender will give you the benefit of the doubt.
And case in point, when you come into the bar and you say things like, "Yo, make it strong," and things like that. That's
doesn't
definitely
help.
a no-no.
Yeah.
Let your drink come out, taste it first, and if it's good,
There's
then
lots
it's
of tricks to
yeah,
handle those people.
yeah,
Yes, there is.
exactly.
Oh, the
Just
old
don't be one of those
pouring
guys.
alcohol down the straw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
There you
what I
go.
was
That's a
thinking,
great
yeah.
one to do right
I
there.
wish I had like a bottle with a pour spout right now, because when someone's like, "Hey, hook it up," there's ways to pour. They think they're getting 5 ounces, but you just pour high and you keep doing
Oh, yeah.
this, and
It
it's
actually
like a
slows it
drop.
down.
It's all
So
a
it
show.
takes like 2 minutes to get half an ounce. They think they're getting fucking 5 ounces of alcohol,
love
and they got half an ounce
I
at
love
that.
it. I got to do that one.
Visual perception.
There you
All
go.
right, Jaime. We're gonna move it over to you. What you want to do? You want to do Corkage Fair? You want to do a champion story?
Since my boy went with champion, I'm gonna go with Corkage Faye.
All right.
All right.
Woo!
So this is gonna bring back one of our best friends, Wes
Oh,
and Stanley.
Mm.
So just a little background for people who don't know us or didn't work with us. Stanley was a server, gay, by the way.
awesome service.
Queen
Awesome.
got away with murder.
Flamboyant, but
Tell-
fantastic.
Customers
Yes.
anything he wanted.
Love that
Anything.
And
Yeah, Stan.
sadly, he's passed. But our Uncle Wes, you know, we adopted him at the restaurant, and he was awesome. Also, sadly, passed away. Was a regular customer there.
Absolutely.
And one day, you know, Wes shows up to the bar, kind of hungover. I'm like, hey, gonna get you. And his drink was always a Belvedere martini.
Mhm.
So he'd have like 5 Belvedere martinis, maybe order food and have a Diet Coke. That was his
Yep.
routine. And one day he shows up hungover, and I'm like, can I get you a martini? He's like, no, I'm fucking hungover, bro. Give me a coffee. So I got him coffee. He was just chilling. Finally, the restaurant opens. We start moving. It gets busy. He's had his 2 coffees and some Diet Cokes. And I'm working with Mike. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 other people working that day behind the bar. And when we're 3 deep, where every seat at the bar is taken, there's people standing behind. The servers are ringing in tickets. Uncle Wes decides he wants a drink. So he's like, to Mike, because Mike was in the service well. He's like, Mike, and Mike's like, give me a second. He has like 20 fucking tickets.
Yeah.
He's like, give me a second. So then he's like, hey man, I'm got like 10 people at the bar that I'm juggling. And I'm like, give me a second. And then I believe it might have been Sarah who was working behind the bar or cocktailing that day. It's like, Sarah, can I get a drink? And then she's like, give me a second. And who's waiting for their tickets to go to the table? Stanley.
Yeah.
So what does Uncle Wes do? Who do I have to blow to get a drink around here? And without
The guy of classic
dropping a
lines.
beat,
Yeah.
Stanley's like, yoo-hoo.
The one guy who didn't pass him up.
the
Yeah.
one guy.
I love it.
Well, you know, that's a court.
He was like, I don't need a second.
Blow you twice, you get 2 drinks, baby.
I'm here right now. Boom. What do you need?
So another,
Missed those 2.
another thing I wanted to ask you guys. So since you've been in the service industry, I'll start off with you, Jaime. Since you guys have been in the industry, has it taught you anything? Has it changed your life? Has it taught you more about people? Has it done anything to like change the course of your life and the way you think and the way you view people in general?
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
1000% agree with that. Actually, it kind of I know if I go out to a restaurant and let's say, I know they're busy and my food takes a long time, I'm not the kind of person who's going to get upset and angry because I completely have been there. And so it does change your perspective on, and you know what, people have said this to me before too, that, like, they think everyone should work in service industry at some point in their
just
life.
took the words right out of my mouth.
And you can tell those people who come in there who's never worked,
been
who have
in
never worked,
service
because
or
they don't really
retail.
have an understanding of what is going on.
Yeah.
They'll ask for outrageous things and,
Yeah.
like,
But
So-
and they're very me, my, I.
most definitely, yeah. So I think, and I do believe that it should be like like going in the military for 2 years or whatever, you go in the service industry for 2 years and just learn about people in general and how to be a considerate person,
Right.
Yes.
A lot of times, patience, empathy, and also just putting yourself in their shoes.
Right. Right.
As being in the liquor industry, people come celebrate sometimes so they can be happy and joyous.
Right.
But there's times where you just have to
People
come
wanna
in
forget.
and drown your sorrows.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. One of the things I want to also add to that is, when I used to bartend, one of the things that I learned, not necessarily negative or positive, But I learned that the one thing that's worse than an annoying customer is an annoying regular. You know what I'm saying? Those are the worst. They got all these demands. They want everything a certain type of way. They always come in at the same time, and they never really tip that great. So yeah, and also too, to add on to that, I also have a friend. She's gonna hopefully be on one of the shows coming up. I mentioned this in the first episode. She was the one who got me interested in getting into the service industry. And basically, what she does, or what she did at a time, is when she was teaching, she would dedicate some time in her classes to teaching inner city kids on restaurant etiquette and how to conduct themselves when they go out. So I think that that's also something that should be incorporated in society and in school, just teaching people how to be more cordial and conduct themselves properly when they go out. And also too, I think that another thing that needs to be addressed, even though people say, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to tip, I think tipping is something that definitely should be taught as well, because people still don't know how to tip properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand if you have a problem with the service, maybe you don't want to tip the 20% or 25%. What is it now? Is it 20% or 25%? What's the standard?
Generally, 15 in your lower restaurants, 15 to 18, but in fine dining, it's 20 to 25%. So
Okay.
like 20, 22,
20 is
25.
20 standard.
So
yeah.
so
Yeah,
just
20 standard.
just so you guys know, for those of you who may not be aware of what tipping is or how to tip properly, you have the ranges. And if you don't know, you can always look it up on your phone. That's what your smartphone is for. So you can learn what you should be tipping.
Well, so many of the receipts now have it on there, and I still
was
see
just gonna-
people pulling out their phone.
I
I've
was
been
just
to
going to
places
interject.
where it has 30%.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to so now tipping, there's a whole argument about tipping culture now where everywhere you go, when you pay with your card or whatever, it always
Yeah.
gives you that option. Do you want to tip 15, and it's difficult, like, cause I know I was coming back from Cabo San Lucas. I was in the airport and I bought a water and a little, bottle opener or magnet to put in my fridge or something like that. And I paid with my card and it came up with a 20% tip, whatever, or, whatever your option is. I was
Yeah.
like, why am I like, I know you never had to pay tip for this before. And I think that actually dilutes the restaurant industry when this gets so.
Because people are getting so annoyed by it.
Yeah, exactly. People,
Or
like it used to be kind of
inundated.
just a restaurant or maybe a coffee shop or things like that where you would be tipping on your order or whatever. Now it's like you go to the grocery store and they ask for at Whole Foods. I go to
Yeah.
Whole Foods and it comes up. Do you want to tip? I'm like, why am I tipping the
Yeah.
the checker?
What
15%?
kind of service are you providing?
Yeah.
At self checkout?
Especially at the airport
Yeah.
when you grab your own water and newspaper.
They should do that at the self checkout thing where you check
Yeah.
yourself out and I can tip myself 15%.
Before we end, is there any advice that you might want to give somebody who's looking to get into bartending? What things should they pay attention to, like preparing for the next day, stocking up the next person, things like that?
Or a new bartender, what
Yeah.
would be your words of advice?
I really have the belief that everyone's job, no matter what you might do, is difficult.
Yes.
Getting up and just getting out of bed and doing your job
It's
is
difficult.
I give props to anyone who does that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So my belief is really, you never want to make anyone's job more difficult than it already is, and that's something I've stand for. And like I said, it goes for any kind of career you might go into. At each moment that I can, I'm going to try and alleviate someone else's duty somehow, or at least not add to it.
All right, Jaime. What about you? Any advice?
Anybody coming into the game, if you want to do this for a living and a career, just own your craft and try to be the mas chingon, the badass. Like every job I've been to, I've taken it serious. Whether I'm at the bottom of the barrel, I just give 110%, and it has to be something you love because.
Definitely.
If you see movies like Cocktail or Coyote Ugly, and it's all shits and giggles and fun and game, but there's a lot of stress
Mm-hmm.
involved that you have no idea.
Tip your bartenders.
Yep, unless you've been there. But yeah, you can make a comfortable living. Can move on up. You can be I know private chefs. Who started off in diners.
Oh yeah.
I know people who are sought out for a cocktail experience, can make thousands of dollars in one night.
Yeah, absolutely. Just and also real quick too, I wanted to ask another question. If you had to recommend a cocktail that's maybe not popular but is really good, could you, each of you, could you just pick one that you would recommend that maybe people are not trying that is really good, that you might want to recommend, just to give some people a new taste of something instead of them ordering the same thing?
See, I love classic. I'm like a margarita and Mai Tai. Those two things, those are two of my
My
favorite.
gosh.
And like anything you have by the beach, kind of. I love those drinks. I
Yeah.
love
Okay, okay.
a really properly made margarita or Mai Tai. But the
Yeah.
key is, it's unfortunately there's not a lot of places that have really, really properly made good ones. You know, you
Yes.
go to, it's sad you go to a Mexican restaurant around town.
So
or
would you
whatever.
say
And
you
they're-
make it?
they're-
Would you say you make your Mai Tais and margaritas the best?
Well, I make them how I would like to drink them. So
Okay, okay.
I would say they're the best.
Touche.
They're the best to me.
Okay.
Second best. I did like to say.
Touche.
I do. And that's one thing when someone orders a drink that I like to make, or like I do consider like pretend that I'm on the other side of the bar and I'm the one who's going to be drinking that drink. And how much would I love it? It was made like just the way I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I make it like that, and
Take notes, kids.
people haven't been disappointed so far.
All right. So Mike is gonna stick with the classics.
Yes.
So that is Mai Tai and margaritas for Mike. Beach drinks.
For me, honestly, all I can say is pick your poison. My father is a twin, and my dad's more like a Boilermaker. Give me a shot in the beer. He's a blue collar guy,
Sure.
and his twin brother is uppity, sniffity. I want a cognac and a cigar.
Yeah.
And one time we went for drinks. I was about 21, 22. One of the first times I went to drink legally with them at a bar. And I'm sitting in the middle of the two twins, and I was already bartending back then. So my uncle's like, tell your dad he's a dumb son of a bitch. He doesn't know how to order. Who orders a fucking beer in a well shot? And my dad's like, tell that cocksucker it doesn't matter how much money you spend. It's what you fucking drink.
I love this.
So I did not want anything to do with this because I have
love
to.
these twins.
I have to live with both of them.
Seriously.
So I tell the bartender help, and he came over, and I said, "What's better? What this guy's having?" He goes, "I don't care if you pay $2 an ounce or 2,000. If it's something that your palate craves, that's the best drink for you."
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do hate when people come in, surprise me with a drink. Hello, guide me. Like, what's
I
the
don't
poison?
know what you like.
Yeah. Hey, I love.
Tell me.
I love.
like
I'll
vodka?
surprise you. Here's a water.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was out of
You're gonna hydrate to the max, baby. But it's like I love rum, but not too sweet. Guide me, give me
Yeah.
some
Sure,
guidance, and I'll craft you a cocktail.
I'm stuck. I will say the Ruth Chris has a blackberry sidecar.
Oh, that's-
I remember making that one.
that
It's
was
the
definitely
plum
Amazing.
bitters.
judging a
Plum
book
bitters
by
or
its
something.
cover.
Yeah.
The
That's a
first
good
time
drink.
I read those ingredients, I was all ew, and then you taste it,
It
you're like,
tastes-
oh dear
it tastes
lord,
That's a good drink.
this
amazing.
is
It is.
lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It is
so
a
the
good drink.
blackberry
Yep.
sidecar
I
from
remember that
Ruth
one.
Chris is delicious.
Since you mentioned Ruth Chris, yo, what's up, corporate? We're looking for sponsorships.
Also, too, when you go out to these higher end places, most of the time their drinks are pretty good. You don't really have to ask for it to be remade. That's what I've noticed in my dining experience. Like when I go to the higher end restaurants, my drinks are always pretty well made
Yeah,
and pretty
it's
pretty
Generally
good.
quality ingredients.
Yeah, for
the,
You get what you pay for, baby.
the
Yeah.
premium or
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
shelf.
Nowadays, you're paying a fair amount of money, so you're
Yeah.
getting a
There is a
Something.
reason why that drink might cost $15, $16, but it's
20,
usually
25.
I was about to say 16. I feel is the normal now
yeah,
for
at the
most
very least,
drinks.
yeah.
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 exactly.
Even you said islands. I ordered a Mai Tai the other night because I was like, I'm at islands. I feel like I have to have a Mai Tai
Sure.
since I'm here.
Yeah.
And they were 16.
You didn't go for the lava flow?
I love Mai Tais. That's why when Mike said that right now, I was like, oh my gosh, my heart is. I love a good Mai Tai.
They are the best.
Okay, so the 5-word challenge, just to reiterate, is just to give you an insight of maybe how this person might think. Maybe you can take something from these keywords and kind of figure out how their brain works and maybe apply that to your everyday life in some way.
I was kind of sticking with all restaurants since we're doing bartender theme. Is that okay?
You could do whatever you
Okay.
want. You could do whatever you
Whatever you
like.
want.
Patrona, nice.
All right, so we're gonna go. Nicole, you ready?
Hustle.
Wait. Hold on. On it.
What are you gonna say?
I wonder what word you're gonna give me.
I know.
Now I gotta.
I'm in
teach them.
suspense.
All right, you ready? All right, go.
Hustle.
Preparation.
Calm.
Execution.
In the weeds. That was 3 words.
Calmness.
Okay. Ego.
Um,
Flawless.
uh,
But skip.
Fast.
Flawless eagle.
I know. Flawless.
Humble.
And lastly, teamwork.
Friendship.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Jaime.
I did-
All right, so Jaime, my 5-word challenge for you today is master.
So,
Master your craft, baby. It doesn't matter whether you're bartending, serving, busing, construction, electrician, a doctor. Master your craft, baby.
It was supposed to be only one word, but
Oh, one word? I didn't hear that.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
All, the one word I heard was hustle.
Bossy,
Bitch.
excellence,
Thank you.
tips,
Welcome.
hurry up,
Why?
I thought he was gonna say, "Shut the fuck up."
No, one word. One word.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I missed the memo.
Shut it.
I missed the memo.
All right, cool. All right. So now we're gonna get into the closing part. Is there anything you want to add before we close out, for whatever reason, in reference to the restaurant industry, or it could be in reference to just building a better character and being better at life and at your job? Because they both apply. To me, being a better person and better character applies to both your life and your job, in my opinion. So, you guys have anything you want to add at all?
There was, I don't remember where I heard this from. It was one of my former managers, I think, back in the day when I first started bartending. But they were kind of describing how the bartending position is different than other positions in the restaurant, and how that basically bartenders are like the Marines of the restaurant
The
industry.
first in and the first.
The Marine
out.
Infantry.
Yes,
The
yeah,
Marine
there's,
Infantry.
yeah, there's the Army, there's the Navy, there's the Air Force, there's all these things in the branches of the military, and most of those branches are pretty well stocked and supported by many different defenses or whatever. But the Marines are known to kind of just go in there and they're on their own. Kind of, they don't really get much support necessarily, but they're the grunts, and that's how the bartending position is compared to other positions in the restaurant, in my opinion, because it takes a certain breed of person to become a bartender, not to demote any other part of the restaurant industry at all. But, you know, like a bartender could easily be a server or a busser or any other position, but there's very few people who could be bartenders.
Yes,
in
I
general.
100%.
Good
agree.
bartenders.
Good
Good,
bartenders.
exactly. So I feel like when this guy told me that the bartenders of the Marines, I remember thinking like, oh, we're the badasses, which is somewhat true. But it really is more that the bartenders are the ones who can kind of get everything done. So if you are interested in a career in that, you know, you are really a go-getter, if you're someone who loves the Marines, bartending might be for you.
Anything you want to add, Jaime?
Well, Mikey said it best, you know, like sometimes you look at a server or a busser and you're like, why did you go to the Army? Why did you go to the Navy? Oh, you couldn't cut it to be a Marine.
That's right. Exactly.
No.
That's exactly right.
Anything you want to add this week, Wine Girly?
I did want to ask, do you take constructive criticism well or no longer?
Yeah, these days, now that I've gotten older and wiser, I take constructive criticism 100%. Back in the day when I was young, dumb, and full of cum, fuck you, what are you talking about? I'm perfect.
Yeah.
It's
I
true.
know.
So that's one thing, you know, you come in, be humble, be nice, learn from the old timers that are there. I mean, there was a time where there's an old joke that says, what's the difference between God and a bartender? And the-
Bartender's been there longer.
No, it says God doesn't think he's perfect. But
Wow.
in the 70s, 80s, there was a lot of old timers, and 90s when mixology started, they had a big chip on their shoulder. They all thought where they were the shit. They wouldn't show you their tricks.
True.
So you had to learn, and me, I have no problem if you come in, oh, give you every trick I know and every trick I heard of.
I got asked to leave a restaurant in Napa because I didn't want the bartender to serve my drink in a coupe. I just wanted it in a martini glass. Coupes just bother me. I don't know why.
What if they
But
like?
they-
First of all, I've been there. So I've ran out of like martini glass. Like that's all I have is a
You're
bucket.
lucky you didn't get a bucket glass.
Exactly.
But
I'll get you a martini glass
Yeah,
like 20 minutes later. Maybe,
No,
if you
no,
want,
he
like-
had martini glasses.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well, that's
I was just saying,
all right,
could
all
you
right.
serve
What-
that?
Sure. Yeah.
And
What did he
then-
order?
I think it was probably a gimlet.
Right.
I love gimlets, and now I don't care.
Mhm.
This was, I don't know, 10 years ago, but I was like, why were you so disgruntled that you had to have me kicked out of the restaurant just because I didn't want it
That's-
in a
yeah.
martini glass? I mean,
That's
that was an ego
excessive.
and a chip to me.
That's
Oh,
excessive.
absolutely. You should look up what a coupe is. They have Chat GP. In case there's anything that you might hear on this podcast ever, and you're not absolutely sure if we don't describe it, there's a new app out called Chat GPT.
Or get out more often and order more
Yeah,
drinks.
exactly. There
The
you
coupe,
go.
the coupe is actually the original martini
Yes,
glass,
the
and
coupe
at the
is.
1925 World's Fair in Paris,
Marie
the
Antoinette
martini glass that we know now was introduced actually
in
in
1925.
1925 at the
I
World's
love
Fair in
Straight,
Paris.
straight facts.
You have a flute, but back in the day, champagne was served in
In
coupes.
coupes, that is true.
Yes, it was served in coupes.
The only coupes I know is the chicken coupe and,
the
and the
Coupe
drop
de Ville.
and the drop and yeah, the
Ville.
coupe de ville and the drop top coupe.
I think it's because
Oh, and Mr. Cooper.
I'm more klutzy and I spill more in a coupe. Like
Then a martini glass? Really?
yes,
Huh.
yeah. I don't
You've
know.
gotten used to carrying martini.
But now I don't care. Now I don't give two Fs. So coupe
There
it
you go.
is. If
There
you
you
that's
go.
all you got, that's all you got.
My take this week is watch how you treat people that are serving your food. But I've seen some things go down behind the scene based on how some certain customers treat the staff. You got to remember, these people are handling your food and your drinks.
See, I feel like that's old school. I haven't seen anything.
I haven't
happen
seen that
behind
since
the scenes.
1985.
Yeah.
But we've all seen it.
Right. And
But we all know where
I
the
agree.
cameras aren't recording.
I agree. It doesn't happen normally.
right,
yes.
right. But I
But
mean,
it has happened.
and I'm sure in some places it still does
I've
happen.
never.
Yeah, it still does
Probably,
happen.
yes.
So
Never,
my-
because I'm a professional.
So my advice to you is just always be nice to the people that are taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know how to tip, like I said, look it up. And just be aware and just be nice, just be cool. And sometimes, when you go out and you be cool, sometimes you might get something for free. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, looking to get a handout, just be regular. Just be cool, fool, as they say. All right. So with that being said, I would like to thank all my guests for coming here tonight. Mr. Mike Dane, bartender
Thank you.
extraordinaire,
Thank you.
Poppy Chulo, Jaime, and Wine Girly, my favorite co-host.
Woohoo!
And you also have me, Ahmadan. And we'll be back soon. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And take care. And as always, I wish you wealth, I wish you health, and I wish you insight so you can see for yourself. Peace.
Drink wine. Cheers.
Fuck this thanks. You promised me a 2-piece chicken dinner.